Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Silver is about to explode, and I'm not just trying to be a silver pumper. I'm not trying to mislead my audience or misguide my viewers. This is my actual opinion, and I am very bullish on silver in the next coming months for several reasons I'll be explaining in this video. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe because I do post daily videos. If you want to be updated on a daily basis with the current stuff or whatever that's happening in the precious metals world, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. So anyways, let's jump into this video. So right now, given the circumstances, given all the information, given the chart analysis that I've gone over, there's several different things happening in the economy from political to industrial. Silver is on the brink of definitely rallying. Now, the price range that I'm looking at is around $20. I'm not trying to say silver is going to be $100 in a couple months because that's going to mislead you guys and give a false representation of the reality in these markets. And I'm not going to do that for clicks and views, but I do want to give my personal preference on where silver and gold is headed. Now, silver more specifically than gold, because silver is undervalued to extreme amounts right now. The gold to silver ratio is still around 85 to 1, where gold is already, it already has a nice foundation built around a natural price for it, but silver definitely doesn't. Looking at the supply and demand of silver, looking at the industrial uses, how scientists are actually figuring out new uses for silver to make it 40% stronger than before without losing any of its electrical conductivity. This is huge news for silver, especially looking at how the supply of silver has been getting cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces, with miners focusing more on gold, and all the economic data given, whether it's the U.S.-China trade negotiations, whether it's the Iran tensions, the Hong Kong protests, whatever the case is. We have the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates, we have the FOMC meetings, and all of these things are affecting prices to very large extents. Now, to what extent does the influencing prices move these metals or move these markets? To which degree? That's really the question here, because yes, we do have several different things influencing prices, but then we hear something like JP Morgan has been caught manipulating markets behind the scenes, and we're wondering how much of a bubble is this really in? Are these prices moving naturally at all? And if they are, or if they're not, then how much of this is being misguided or misled? I mean, this is definitely a red flag or a false flag to some degree. Placing false buy orders on these markets with millions or billions of dollars, tricking people to thinking that a lot of people are buying silver up, and then that's when the price goes up for them to sell out or cash out, capitalize on their profits, is definitely manipulating a market to a very large degree. But then you have something like along the lines of, the surplus of silver, where the top three producers, Mexico, Peru, and Chile, have been abandoning silver mines. So with the demand spiking or skyrocketing as the supply is falling, which degree or to what extent is that going to affect prices? We also have a lot of people investing in the precious metals for that safe haven mind state, since precious metals have intrinsic value, the value within itself, and that is definitely something that gives people satisfaction at ease, especially in these times when they don't really trust the government or the banks. And to what extent is that going to affect prices? So these are things we're going to try to look at in this video. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is how the interest rates getting cut, the FOMC meeting, all these things, whether it's the trade negotiations getting, somewhat to a gray area, or some type of, correlating or I guess reasonable response to each other. I think that the first trade they actually did was soybeans. Now I think they're actually finding they're going to be trading something else, and this eases tensions for people because they see that things are actually coming to somewhat to good terms. But the only thing is, now not only is it the trade negotiations, now there's going to be a technology or a technological war where some of the bigger companies with Huawei and other companies or corporations, these tech companies, are going to be holding off as well with trade negotiations. So this is going to be a very, very, very sticky situation, not only for America, but across the globe. Now, this is something I definitely think is going to affect prices, especially moving into the year 2020, where we have the presidential election. I mean, look historically. Look. Every 4 years, silver does some type of drastic change, whether it's positive or negative, and this is always because the presidential election comes around. Now, America, being one of the richest countries, if not the richest, is definitely one of the biggest movers, even globally. It's not like the prices are only affected in America. This is stuff that the global scale have all their eyes on these elections, and regardless of where you live, the prices will be affected by this. Another thing I don't think people talk enough about is the ETF side of it, how these prices are influenced from the physical bullion side of it. Because yes, it's the same market essentially, but the surplus of this could affect markets or even the ETF side of it. So yes, a lot of people, 99% of people invest into ETFs, the exchange traded funds, but there's also a lot of people that are buying physical bullion thinking that that market is safe or secure from those things, or vice versa. And the reality is they're both basically the same, or they're essentially one. So you need to understand that, and also you need to becoming more aware of this, and being informed on what's happening, whether it's economically or globally or even industrial, because they are all intertwined to some degree. I hate to say it, but some right now silver is more speculative than I think it ever has been, since President Trump with a single tweet could affect markets substantially, and usually that's only with stocks or cryptocurrency. But right now we see it across every market, across the globe, across the board. And this means you have to adjust your stacking strategies, adjust how you're buying, selling, and trading, because 1 minute prices may look good, but the next minute they could be down. So you have to really be aware of what's going on a day-to-day basis more than ever. Now, for the long stack, or the long haulers, or the long-term stackers, I know it might not be as essential or as crucial to be understanding or figuring out what the day-to-day status is, but I definitely still think you should be aware of it, because this is still affecting precious metals as a whole, and it's going to allow you to be more effective when it comes to that exit strategy time, that time frame when it comes to sell. I definitely think you need to be preparing, or be as prepared as possible when it comes to selling, because even though you're not selling yet, you still need to understand where you're going to sell, what's your time frame, where you're going to be selling to, and at what prices. And sometimes, if prices are going to be rallying quicker than others, if you do want to liquefy or liquidate some of your stack, you should go for it. You don't want to always hold off. If you want to capitalize off some profits, if you see a good opportunity, then take those opportunities to the bank, to your advantage. I'm not going to say that you should be selling all your stack, or I definitely don't recommend that, because silver has much more potential to appreciate even more than the $19.50 range. But let's give an example, like when silver was $50 in 2011. What if that would have been in this era and you missed out on that opportunity to capitalize right then, when prices aren't going to be hitting that for the next 10 or so years at least? Think about that. You do have to be prepared for any situation. If silver does hit $50 again in the next couple of years, you want to be prepared to be able to capitalize on some of that, and to what extent, what ratio of your stack are you going to be selling, which coins are going to be going first. I definitely think this is all stuff that you need to be thinking about and being prepared, because the more prepared you are, the more susceptible you are to becoming successful at it. A lot of people probably missed out and actually read a lot of articles during that time period, and a lot of people thought prices were going to keep going higher, so that they actually didn't sell any, because they thought silver was going to go to $100. So a lot of people could have been capitalizing, or getting a lot of profits from their silver, especially before then, when it was around the $5-10 range, quadrupling their stack or their profits, but they were holding off, thinking a little too greedy, a little too money hungry, and didn't take advantage of those prices. So this is stuff you need to be aware of. It's also why it's so important to keep eye on channels like mine, subscribing to these channels that inform you on a day-to-day basis, because I will definitely be posting videos every single day, updating you guys, informing you guys on what's happening with precious metals, where the prices are headed, in my opinion. I go over the chart analysis from actual experts. I go over my perspective of it, and I go over everything that's happening in the economy as well. This is all influenced and intertwined together, and this is definitely something that I think everyone needs to be informed on, even if you aren't worried about selling yet. So anyways, I'm curious where you guys think silver prices are headed. I definitely think that it is a ticking time bomb. I think that prices will definitely be rallying soon, especially with everything, all the circumstances given. I'm curious where you guys think prices are headed though, and also why that's so important. So anyways, if you found this video educational, informational, or just entertaining, make sure to smash that like button, support channels like this. I'm about to hit 22,000 subscribers. Also, make sure to subscribe because I do post daily videos. I posted a video earlier today as well. I know you guys are going to dig that. It'll be in the top left hand corner, and also another video will be in the top right hand corner if you already saw the video earlier today. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.